My Hot Kitchen. I'm Wendy, and I'm very excited for you to share this bento box feast with your sweetie on your next romantic date night at home. On the menu tonight, we're featuring chicken teriyaki over white rice, sushi rolls, sashimi, sumono salad, and tempura as an appetizer. So let's get started with the rice. So what I have here is 3 cups of Calrose rice cooked in 4.5 cups of water with about a tablespoon of salt. I'm going to take most all of this rice and pour it out into a dish so that it can start to cool down. I'm going to make sure to leave a nice little amount to pour on the dinner plate under the chicken teriyaki, about a cup's worth. I'm going to spread the rice out here and just give it a moment to start cooling off. In the meantime, I'm going to go back and whip up some sauces. So there's going to be 3 sauces that are going to be heavily featured in this meal. It's going to be a teriyaki, a spicy sauce, and a dressing that you're going to use for both the rice and the sumono salad. Let's do the teriyaki first. You're going to need 2 ounces of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons white sugar, 1 ounce of water or sake, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and a ½ teaspoon of cornstarch. And then what you want to do is just whisk these all together. Whisk it until the sugar dissolves and until the cornstarch is completely dissolved as well. And then I'm going to pop it in the microwave for about 1 minute or just enough time to bring it up to a boil. In the meantime, we can start working on the spicy sauce. So in my fridge here, I've got a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise and a tablespoon of classic sriracha chili sauce. Just going to stir these together here with a teaspoon of sugar, which is going to help to enhance the sweetness of the chili sauce, until one uniform consistency has been achieved. There we go, that looks great right there. And now I'm going to put it in a little squeeze bottle for ease of use later on. Now I use just regular standard mayonnaise for this, classic American style mayonnaise. There's also a special Japanese style mayonnaise that uses rice vinegar as a base. And if you're looking for a more authentic flavor, you can definitely pick up some of that at your favorite local Asian market. But if all you can find is just regular old mayonnaise, that will do just fine. There we go. Now you want to put this back in the fridge for safekeeping. Let's go check on that teriyaki sauce now. With the heat of the microwave activating the cornstarch, it will have thickened up just a little bit. Give the teriyaki sauce a little whisking action just to make sure everything's all good and happy and combined in there. Also give it a moment to cool down. This is another great sauce to throw into a little squeeze bottle for ease of use. The sauce is totally going to thicken as it stands and cools down. Set that off to the side. Now we're left with just the rice dressing / sumono salad dressing. So you're going to need 1 cup of rice vinegar, a ½ cup of sugar, so a 1 to 2 proportion of sugar to vinegar, and a couple teaspoons of salt. You just want to whisk all of these together until the salt and sugar have dissolved completely in the rice vinegar. Now with everything all dissolved, it's time to come over here and dress the rice. You want to start dressing the rice before it's completely cooled down, but maybe give it a minute just to cool down enough to handle it. So my way of doing this is take a spoonful, just sort of sprinkle it across the rice. And just gently start to toss the rice with the dressing. You want to use a very soft touch with this. In fact, you may even want to moisten your fingers and get them in there helping out. Moistening your fingers will help prevent the rice from sticking to them. Looks like I'm going to need a little bit more. You want to keep dressing it until you see the rice take on a little bit of a shine. And you also want to see the rice sort of separate out from one another. I'm going to use my fingers now to mill it together. You want to give them a little taste. You should taste the seasoning, but you should also still taste the rice. Just a nice little dressing. This is perfect, so I'm going to stretch it out and just let it sit over here on the counter and cool down to room temperature. Well, let's get started on the appetizer here. We're going to make a little tempura. I've got a cup of cake flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and very cold beer. I recommend you use your favorite beer for this. Just want to pour it in there until you get the right consistency. Tempura batter is very thin and light and feathery, so your consistency is everything for the success of this recipe. Well, let's see how this looks right there. Nice and clumpy, pouring off kind of loosely. Let's test it out. So the only way to test it out is to actually fry something off. I'm gonna fry off these little broccoli florets here. Give them a little loving dunk. These are looking very nice. Looks like I got the consistency of the batter just right. It's puffing up and sort of exploding off. A couple more minutes here. Let's pull them out. Let them drain off for just a moment. And you want to drop them in all their glory into something to catch that grease. And while they're still sizzling, hit them with just a bit of salt. So I've got the oil set at about 350 degrees here, and that seems to be making this particular batch of batter and these vegetables very happy. So now I'm going to immerse the mushrooms in the loving batter. Drop them in. These are sweet potatoes that I'm frying off right now. Carrots are also quite good. Some sort of sweet root vegetable. Just fits the bill. Now we're going to do the shrimp. I'm going to draw the knife in along the outside edge. Make a nice little incision in there. And flip it over, kind of fanning it out a bit. And cut a few more incisions. Cross it like so. And that's going to help the shrimp to lay flat while it fries. You can do that to all of them. So I'm using size 2130 peeled and deveined shrimp for this. So the last thing that you'll need to make your tempura complete is of course some tempura dipping sauce. Now you can go to the trouble of making it from scratch, but I just recommend using the pre-made stuff, and that calls for a 4-to-1 proportion. 1 part sauce, 4 parts water. I'm calling your sweetie. Honey.
Yeah.
Hey, I made you one of your very favorites.
Goodness, look at
Aha.
Yes. Oh my god, I gotta try one of these.
Yeah, go in on one of those. I made tempura. Wow.
Oh, that's delicious. Perfectly crispy. Here's some.
So now it's time to focus on the entree, the teriyaki chicken over steamed rice, the sumono salad, and of course the sushi rolls. So the first thing that you're going to want to do here is get the chicken started. Hit it with a little black or red pepper. Make sure you get both sides. Want this to be kind of spicy and kind of sweet. And it's going to be delicious. Hit it with some of the teriyaki sauce. Nice generous amount there. Flip it again, just make sure you get both sides. There we go. And then place them presentation side down on the hottest part of your grill. And adjust the heat to medium-high because it's sugary, so it could burn if the temperature is too high. Now you're going to need to wash your hands before you make the Sumono salad. So the Sumono salad is the ultimate in simplicity. I have a full cucumber here. I cored out the middle of it so it doesn't have a lot of seeds in it. So I just want sort of the meaty part of the cucumber. I have about a ½ cup here of delicious little bay shrimp. We're just going to want to toss it with some of the same dressing that you use to toss the sushi rice. Put in there. Get them all loved up. And drop them in a nice pretty container. Beautiful. Pour just a bit more of the dressing in there. Create a nice little pool at the bottom. Sprinkle on some sesame seeds. And those are done. And now it's on to rolling some sushi. I'm going to bring the teriyaki sauce with me because that's going to be an ingredient. So I have 2 sheets here of roasted seaweed, and I'm actually going to cut off about the top third or quarter or so. I find that the full sheet just makes a roll that's just too big. Okay, let's talk about the fish here for a minute. So we have this beautiful salmon, and you'll see that I've sliced it up right across the grain. It's just a little chunk of fillet right here. And here is the izumi. Now I've kind of sliced this one in a fun way, sort of on the bias, both this way and this way, in order to get the longest pieces possible. And of course, there's my favorite maguro tuna. This came in a nice little block like this, so I just sliced it across the bias like so, again to sort of lengthen off my pieces that I would get for my rolls. Now, let's go ahead and add a little fish to this sushi roll we're working on here. It's just a very basic, simple sushi roll. Got a couple pieces of fish, some rice, some wasabi. Take it, kind of fold it over on top. Drop that mat down, squeeze it into place a little bit. Roll it forward. Squeeze it into place again. Check it for roundness. Yes, that looks pretty good right there. Now we're going to try something a little fun here. We're going to make this into a little heart-shaped roll. Do that by pulling back on it and sort of flattening it down with our fingers across the top, squeezing it into a teardrop shape. Make sure the bottom comes to a nice point. Take it over here on the cutting board. Slice into the middle of it. You want to use a very sharp knife for this purpose. Place these guys like that. Oh. Ah, that will reform. Nice, smooth cuts. Keep that shape as best you can. Plate them up like that. They'll be little hearts. There, aren't those cute? Should probably go check on that chicken now. Oh yeah, this is looking very tasty. Nice little flip and let it keep going. All right, it's time to work on another sushi roll here. Get my hands moistened up. We're gonna make a little rainbow roll this time. So we're gonna interlace a slice of salmon, avocado, some of this gorgeous azumi, overlap them nicely. I like to put avocado between each type. Yummy tuna. I'm just gonna go for making this about the same width as a sheet of seaweed. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, good stuff. Now, moisten up the hands again. We're gonna need to grab more rice. Gather it into a nice little ball. Shape it out into a log. Press it down gently on top of the fish and the avocado. Try not to disturb them too much. Stretch it out. Place the seaweed, shiny side down, top the rice, squeeze it out a little bit, make it stick. Put a little bit of wasabi in here on the inside, just kind of brush it across for that extra little spice. Inside you're going to want to put a couple little very thin cucumber sticks. And the tempura shrimp, minus the tail. These are the ones that you wanted to save. And like that. Some radish sprouts, just a few. I like to put them with their little green heads sticking out. And a nice little squeeze of that yummy spicy sauce that you made earlier. Indeed. Now fold it over on itself, using your fingers, sort of pull it in. Make sure you've got your ends down. Pull back gently. Continue rolling forward. Beautiful. I like to grip the bottom of the mat as I pull back. And I'm really not squeezing that hard. I'm letting the bamboo do the work for me. It's kind of guiding it. Oh, that looks very yummy. See that I can compress it down just a bit more on the ends. Give it a little more love and squeeze in here. Really want to mold it, stick together. There we go. Look at this little beauty. That over here on the cutting board, slice it off. Soften my hands here and get rid of some of the sticky rice. Going to moisten up the blade of the knife a little bit so it slides right through all that riciness. Again, we're going to cut it right in the middle. There we go. Blunt edges together. Cut this one nice thick slices so those toppings stay on there. Go. And let's check on this chicken. Wow, looks done. I'm gonna hit it with just a little love, a little more teriyaki love. Then we're gonna turn off the heat and pull these guys to the coolest part of the grill. They do need to sit for a few minutes because they will get sliced right before service. And you want them to rest and take their juices back in before you slice them up. That gives us just enough time to whip up a little sushi over here. Certainly don't want to let all this lovely fish go to waste. So I'm going to gather up a little handful of rice in each hand here. Squeeze it into a little tube. I'm going to grab a dab of wasabi. A little slice of fishy. Just kind of squeeze them together. Do that with the salmon. Gather a bit more rice, split it between my two hands. Just a little bit of rice. A little dab of wasabi. Nice little slice of the izumi. Always seems to work better if you put the fish down in your palm side of your hand. Make another serving of each tuna, salmon, and izumi. And now we are down to the final steps here. Just arranging all my garnishes and whatnot. Let's get this chicken sliced. Just want to grab all the chicken breast together. Try to maintain it in its original shape. Stick it on the plate. Need a little rice to go along with it. Dunk your spoon in water first for ease of handling. Just pull out a nice little spoonful here. Next the chicken. Sushi hearts on there. So cute. Go, you want to hit the rolls with a little bit of the yummy little tempura crunchies. Nice little garnish across the top. Little delicious teriyaki sauce. Wow, that looks great. And hit the chicken with a little bit of that teriyaki sauce too, just to really make that flavor pop. A little dot of spicy sauce here on top of each heart roll. There we go. And just like that, you whipped up a bento box. What a great meal to have at a romantic date night at home. So eat this up with a little sake on the side and call in your sweetie. Sayonara, apron.
Hey.
Let's have some bento.
Bento it is. Wow.
I got your picture.
Yes.
You wrote I love you. I really do. I see the stare at it, there's nothing else
This
to do.
is such a hot kitchen.
Your hair is brown. Your eyes are hazel.
So thanks for joining me in my hot kitchen tonight. Have fun turning up the heat in your kitchen. And I'll see you next week. Night night.
I got your picture.
Pet the kitties.